In May 2004, a swarm of massive tornadoes tore through Nebraska. The destruction was immense. It was a natural disaster, but to many, it felt like something more. Because on that exact same day, a secretive government facility in Alaska began broadcasting a strange, rhythmic pulse, a pulse so powerful it shook the ground and was picked up by earthquake sensors.
It's being called a catastrophe of major proportions.
Then, in 2010, a catastrophic earthquake shattered Haiti, killing over 100,000 people. And once again, all eyes turned to that same facility in Alaska. Data from its machines showed bizarre activity right before the quake. A world leader accused the United States of attacking Haiti with an earthquake weapon. The common threat? A remote field of 180 antennas pointing at the sky. This is HAARP, the most mysterious government project of our time, accused of controlling the weather, triggering earthquakes, and even bending minds. But what is the truth? Tonight, we're investigating the incidents. Chapter 1. The official story, just science? So what does the government say? Officially, HAARP, the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, was always just a giant science project. Its target was a part of our sky called the Ionosphere, a layer full of electrical energy that makes radio signals and the northern lights possible. Scientists used its powerful transmitter to tickle this layer and study how it reacted. The goals? To protect satellites from solar storms and improve radar and communication. And in 2015, the military packed up and left. They handed the keys to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, which now runs it for public, civilian research. They even give tours. If this was a secret weapon, why would they let tourists walk around? The official story seems to make perfect sense. But then, why are so many people convinced of the lie? Chapter 2. The case for the conspiracy. Weird coincidences. The distrust didn't come from nowhere. It came from a string of incredibly suspicious events. First, weather control. In 1996, the U.S. Air Force published a paper titled Weather as a Force Multiplier, Owning the Weather in 2025. It talked about using weather as a weapon. To conspiracy theorists, this wasn't an idea, it was a blueprint. And the Nebraska tornadoes happening at the exact same time as HAARP's mysterious pulse? They call that proof, not a coincidence. Then the earthquake claim, the link to the 2010 Haiti tragedy, is one of the biggest accusations. Online investigators pointed to strange signals from HAARP's instruments in the days before the quake. And when the president of Venezuela goes on TV and blames a U.S. earthquake weapon, the world listens. All right, before we get to the other side of this story, I want to hear from you. What's the wildest conspiracy theory you've ever heard? Drop it in the comments below. And if you love digging into mysteries like this, hitting that subscribe button and the bell is the best way to make sure you don't miss what's next. Chapter 2 continued, Mind Control and the Patents. Now back to the mystery. And this is where it gets really out there. Mind control. This idea comes from HAARP's ability to generate extremely low-frequency waves, the same kind the Navy uses to talk to submarines. Old declassified Army documents discuss how such waves could potentially influence human behavior. Could HAARP be scaling this up? Beaming signals to affect how we think. And perhaps the most convincing piece of the puzzle, the patents. HAARP was built with help from a company that owned a patent literally titled Method and Apparatus for Altering a Region in the Earth's Atmosphere. Read that again. When the company that helps build a secretive military project holds the blueprint for altering the atmosphere, it doesn't just raise eyebrows, it screams that something is going on. Chapter 3. The Other Side, the Scientific Debunk. Now, let's hear the other side, because scientists have looked at all of this and said, it's complete nonsense. On weather control, they point to the sheer scale. The ionosphere is constantly bombarded by massive energy from the sun. HAARP's power, in comparison, is like a tiny flashlight trying to outshine 1,000 suns. It's physically impossible for it to change the weather. The tornado pulse was just the vibrations from the powerful antennas shaking the ground beneath them, a local effect. On earthquakes, seismologists are clear. The radio wave from HAARP can't even penetrate the ground. The energy needed to trigger a quake is equivalent to thousands of nuclear bombs. HAARP's output is a fraction of that. The strange signals before Haiti? Almost certainly just normal solar activity. On mind control, scientists agree that while such waves can technically interact with the brain, the signal from HAARP would be so incredibly weak by the time it reached a person thousands of miles away that it would be drowned out by the Wi-Fi, radio, and TV signals already surrounding us. And those suspicious patents? Scientists say that's just how cutting-edge research works. DARPA's entire purpose is to fund weird, futuristic ideas. They argue that turning the facility over to a public university is the least secretive thing they could possibly do. This is a crazy debate, right? But we're just getting started. We cover everything from ancient aliens to secret societies. If this is your kind of rabbit hole, consider joining our community. Subscribe for more content that makes you question everything. Conclusion: the real mystery. So where does this leave us? On one side, a string of terrifying coincidences, military backing, and a literal patent for altering the atmosphere. On the other, the entire scientific community, the laws of physics, and a facility that's now open to the public. The real power of the HAARP conspiracy isn't about weather control. It's about how it's built to be unkillable. Any denial is proof of a cover-up. Any natural disaster is evidence. The lack of proof is itself the ultimate proof of how deep the secret goes. Maybe the biggest question isn't about radio waves. It's about trust. Do you trust the official story from organizations with a history of secrecy? Or do you trust the pattern of anomalies, even when they defy science? The machine in Alaska is now silent, a tool for learning. But the story it spawned is a powerful idea. An idea that our world might be more controlled, more manipulated, and more mysterious than we are ever meant to know. The evidence is on the table. The choice is now yours. What do you believe? This is a debate that keeps going online everywhere. What's your final verdict? Secret weapon or just science? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay curious.